Well, it looks like Corey Johnson sort of got his way. I wrote a piece about this on my website. This is 8th Avenue at 52nd Street. And Corey Johnson is the community board representative or something like that, council member. And he demanded that the payphones on this stretch of road in his district, he demanded that they get removed because they were causing public nuisances and loitering and drug dealing and all that shit, that none of which I believe for a second. And I came back about I think it was 8 months after he made that demand, and City Bridge said they would do it promptly, they would get rid of them promptly. And they were all still here about 8 or 9 months later. So I'm going to cover 8th Avenue from 52nd down to 42nd. I'm only going to do 10 blocks to see if Corey Johnson fully got his way and got rid of all those horrible payphones. So this one's at 51st Street, or this one used to be at 51st Street, outside the Atlas Social Club. So Corey Johnson finally got some satisfaction in getting rid of payphones. But the reason I don't believe his claims is that he made it sound like complaints were pouring in from local residents that these payphones were magnets for drug dealing and loitering and all this shit. I just don't believe that. But he said that he wanted them replaced with Link NYC kiosks, and he was evidently unaware that those things are even stronger magnets for loitering and derelict behavior. So be careful what you ask for, right? But I do see a couple of survivors across the street. This is 50th, outside of the Petland, so let's take a look. Before we get to that one outside of Petland, let's look at this one, which I spotted before I crossed the street. This is on 50th, just off of 9th Avenue. And there's some Jesus Saves graffiti. I don't think Jesus is going to save this payphone. There's some other street art. This is outside of the Green Rancho Bar and Taqueria. Oh, I forgot to check. Oh wow, it has dial tone. What do you make of that? Let's see what its number is. Because if you're just tuning in, the number printed on the phone virtually never correlates to what shows up on the caller ID or what the number of the phone is. Okay. 516-361-3864. Now you know, if that shows up on your caller ID, somebody called you from this payphone. Yeah, the coconut water ads are everywhere on these phones. The restaurants at Hudson Yards, one of the most hated real estate developments in recent memory. And I'm guessing they're all closed. Okay, so these are on the avenue at 50th Street. Well, this is something that I don't see this in Queens as much, but bicyclists leave their locks on these phones. I mean, I guess it's bicyclists, I don't know. Sometimes they'll store the whole fucking bike on the roof of the phone enclosure. This one is making a kind of a clicking noise, no dial tone. I'm guessing the phones Corey Johnson got rid of actually worked. No dial tone here. Actually, I don't know why I say that, but there'd be poetic something if the fact that if it's true that working payphones get removed while these non-working ones remain. Seen this a few times. This trap door is open. See where the base of this thing is resting. I think it was actually made one of the local news broadcasts that people were leaving these locks and other objects on these phone enclosures, because that's a big story, right? I see another one up ahead, so Corey Johnson doesn't seem like he got his way. And it's been well over a year now, I think. And I haven't seen a Link NYC kiosk either. That really did baffle me. Like, the payphones, you know, they get kind of kicked around as a political football by, I don't know, representatives and such who want their constituency to think that they're actually doing something. So this is a twofer, and there's that horrible spare room advertisement that I always think looks like a vagina. No dial tone here. Although, oh wait, it did go to dial tone after a few seconds. Wow, so this avenue actually has dial tone. This one does. This one works too. What do you make of that? This is 49th Street. No, this is 49th Street, 9th Avenue. I keep hearing that WNBA is like the best basketball happening right now. But then the follow-up comment is, why the hell isn't anybody watching it? This is across the street from the last one on the avenue at 49th Street. And I'm going to stay close to this one because there's a long line of people waiting to get COVID tested.
Debating, like, I think
No dial tone here. Here's the line of people waiting for COVID tests. I plan to get tested tomorrow. So this one at 48th Street is gone. But by the way, I've been tested multiple times. I had the COVID back in April and May. And I got over it, but it was no fun. But I'm getting tested again anyway because I don't really believe this conventional wisdom that you can't get it again. Well, this one's still standing at 48th. Kind of mixes in well with the garbage, doesn't it? I mean, when you consider that it's essentially amounts to that. I mean, I'm sorry to be so blunt, but yeah, here's another lock left by a bicyclist, I guess. And here, some canned goods. Oh, you know, I didn't know there was a Target in Hell's Kitchen. And we're not supposed to call it Hell's Kitchen anymore. It's supposed to be Clinton. This is across the street from the last one, 48th Street. This one's in pretty good shape, cosmetically at least. And it has dial tone. Man, 9th Avenue is just singing with dial tone, isn't it? And there's another bike lock. Where are they going to store their locks when these payphones are gone? That's the question of the hour. 9th Avenue definitely impresses with its abundance of dial tone. That's right, I remember these. There were 3 in a row here at 47th Street on the Avenue. 3 in a row is probably the most you're going to find in one spot, one location these days. At one point, I think the most sidewalk payphones in a row was 6, somewhere on Flatbush Avenue. And then until pretty recently, there were 5 in a row near the Lofrac houses, or the Lofrac building, or whatever you call it. Lofrac City, that's what it is. There were 5 in a row, but those are all gone now. So, this gives you an idea, though, just how many there used to be. At least one phone on almost every single block on this stretch of 9th Avenue, sorry. So 46th Street, I think, is the first block so far to have shown no evidence of a payphone from the past or one in the present. So we're at 45th Street now. And there's that Target ad again. And that payphone's gone. And this thing is essentially the same as that. This is trash. That's going to be it's basically left out for collection at some point. And again, I keep forgetting to do this. Outside the Healthy Corner Fresh Juices. I don't know if you can hear me, but ironically enough, that emission spewing, noise making vehicle is something called the Clean Air Group. And here you can see where delivery peeps lock their bikes up on these phones. I'm not going to mess with these. Frankly, that noise is driving me crazy. This is 43rd Street. There were none at 44th. So only 2 blocks so far show no evidence of past Payphones. And I think those last two are, well, I think I see one up ahead. I thought that was the last one. We're coming up on 42nd Street. This is near 42nd Street. You can see somebody threw this phone down. Somebody once asked on social media somewhere, asked where the expression "off the hook" comes from. What does it mean? And I offered up two answers. Wow, this has dial tone too. 9th Avenue is just humming with that dial tone, man. But where does the expression "off the hook" come from? And I have two theories. One is that, and maybe I just made this up and believe it on that account. But one, I always thought it meant that you were talking to somebody on the phone and they said something so crazy and so outrageous that you threw the phone down and left it like this, off the hook. And that's why people say that if something is, out of control or over the edge, they say it's off the hook. This doesn't quite have dial tone. Listen. Has that squealing, squeaking sound. Let's see what happens. Nah, nothing works. This one doesn't work. But I think the real answer to where does "off the hook" come from, it's a fishing thing. When you catch a crazy, out of control fish and you can't keep it on the hook or can't get it off the hook or something like that. I like my explanation better, but that doesn't make it right. Wonder what the hell was supposed to be in here. Looks like somebody stole the phone sign. These structures are pretty solid, It's hard to break them down without proper equipment, proper gear. But once in a while you do see, like, that's a little loose, but I don't think there's any way I could get it out. I mean, as far as street furniture goes, these are pretty formidable structures. And there's another WNBA ad. Alright, looks like this is going to be the last one for today. 9th Avenue on 42nd Street. And this phone's dead, but as an extra bonus, however, to compensate, we get a little Pray. It's the Go to Church Read Bible. This is a fitting finis to this little tour of 9th Avenue between 52nd and 42nd. Pray was everywhere. She was everywhere. Let's see if she was... Yep, there she is. Wow. That's the real thing. The real McCoy, as they say. Let's see if she's on the other side. Okay, I don't see her here, but... That's perfect. Honestly, this belongs in a museum somewhere. But it's just going to be left out for scrap.